Hey guys, subscribe for daily content, and if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got another short little unboxing video to share with you guys. Another knife from Maxace. This actually came with the Medusa, but I knew, the Medusa was probably going to be a pretty big topic of discussion, so I saved this one. But as it turns out, this is also a very interesting knife. In fact, this was the very first model, or the first version of this knife, was the first model that I was aware of from Maxace. I'd never really heard of Maxace before. So they have a new variation of this, and it tends to be pretty popular when this model drops some new variation of it. It tends to be pretty popular, so I wanted to take a look at it and let you guys know that it exists. This is just an unboxing and first impression. It's not a review, so don't expect anything like that. If it is dramatically different from past variations, I will review it. But in the meantime, I will link it down in the description. I also have a discount code through Maxace. You guys can use that as well. It's also down there. Thanks to Maxace for sending this in. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me. And make sure your notifications are turned on for the Metal Complex YouTube channel. Leave a like on the video. That really helps. I'd appreciate it if you guys would take the time to do that. This is the Maxace Balance M, and then it says M14A black handle. The Balance is, like I said, it's the first model that I was aware of. And if I remember correctly, these vary dramatically. The Maxace Balance models, that is a really nice looking exterior. So the shadow boxing always does it for me. That's really nice. But yeah, every time I handle a version of the Balance, it's like some wild, multiverse evolution of itself. It's really, really strange. But what we have here, thank goodness, if you're going to do a frame lock, right? We've talked about this many times. I don't expect incredible strength from a frame lock. My expectations are different versus, say, a top liner lock, right? I expect that to be a stronger locking system that, if somebody knows, a potential consumer knows, hey, I might be a little more abusive with this knife, well, then I would say, maybe not a liner lock or a frame lock, or, especially not like a plunge lock, but maybe something like a Spyderco compression lock, or a well-done, top liner lock, something like that. So I don't have nearly the same expectations from a frame lock, but it'll still work under normal and light-duty circumstances, as long as you're not banging it around or anything like that. But accidents can happen, right? So it's still something to consider. That's something you have to consider as a consumer. But ever since I started doing more of the spine tickle tests, I have to add clarification to my different, my reasoning behind each different locking system, which people will absolutely have a problem with, and they will voice their opinions down in the comments, and then I'll continue to do exactly what I'm doing anyway. So thank you for your feedback. But this is how I see it. I'm not going to see it a different way. But anyways, if you're going to do a frame lock, what I love is seeing them implemented exactly this way, with the lock itself completely and totally underneath the scale. I like that. You lose the ability to hold the lock in place while you're using it, but at the same time, you're not gripping it too hard and mashing that's another problem with the frame lock, is if it's exposed and you're squeezing it, then you're mashing that lock further and further into position under the lock face, which can kind of screw up, or at the very least, it can lessen the total lifespan of the locking system. So I don't always like that, but I do prefer this. As long as they get the geometry correct, then they're going to be fine, right? Really good looking. So it's straightforward. The Balance, to my knowledge, has always had this nearly or fully flat ground blade. I think they've always been frame locks. I think they may have had liner locks at some point. This has a very narrow disengagement bar. It comes up to kind of like a peak there, but it's still fairly easy to manipulate. They did leave you, actually no, they didn't leave you any additional room right here. They probably should have. This is very narrow. It doesn't take a lot to move it out of the way, right? But you can do it with, relative ease. Actually, pretty good there. Pretty good. All I really require is that any locking, so I honestly would have thought that a liner lock or frame lock would have failed right there, but about 10 light taps on the back of the table here. Not necessarily something we need to do, since on this channel I'm already very familiar with Maxace and their liner locks and frame locks. They tend to be pretty darn good, right? But I'm not going to call this a liner lock. I would call this a frame lock, even though it is really, really light. And that's actually an interesting point of discussion, because like, at what point do we refer to it as a frame lock versus a liner lock? I mean, I'm calling it that because instead of full scales, we have these shadow boxed, a lot of people would call them overlays. At what point does an overlay become a scale? And then at what point does the existence of this scale that we're not calling an overlay mean that the material underneath it that is locking the blade out is a liner lock and not a frame lock, or a frame lock and not a liner lock? I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to say exactly where the line is. Anyways, really nice shadow boxing. Really nice G10. I believe that's G10. This must be titanium. I mean, I would think. Let's get the magnet out. Probably going to be a pretty good price tag on this, considering we have a couple of things here. Chapstick's coming with the magnet today. A couple of things here that would suggest, oh no, this is steel. Okay, so what does that mean? It means the price on this should be amazing. We have a steel frame. I was wondering why no lock bar insert. Steel frame, probably a steel pocket clip. No, titanium pocket clip, and probably a tie back spacer. And then we have an M390 blade. So G10 and steel, I would hope that this knife would not be too far over 100. I mean, I think like 120 would be really, really impressive, but who knows, right? Really nice blade, really nice geometry, really nice ergonomic lines. Your flipper tab has a nice shape to it and is angled down. So in the open position, this is not biting into your finger. And in the closed position, it's really easy to both push button and light switch. Actually, the detent on this is really nice. Click, very good. Perfectly centered as well, very, very nice. This is probably the nicest version of this knife that I have seen. There's some past versions of the Balance that have looked good. And, I think the Balance mostly has been there, like, it's a nice knife, but it's not like massively over the top. So the price tag, the end price tag that's applied to it is one that is, a little more reachable by like a larger percentage of people. But they've always been kind of basic in the aesthetic, straightforward tool. And that's good. And a lot of people prefer that over something that's like needlessly, busy aesthetically. But that's always kind of been the Balance thing. So it's kind of nice to see this one not going, runway supermodel like crazy, right? Like a lot of the stuff that Maxace releases all the time, right? But just a little bit of dressings here, like the little collar, the little teardrop collar here, and the shadow boxing, and then of course like the contrasting sort of brassy, pocket clip and backspacer there. It's kind of neat. I don't think that we need to put Balance M390 2026 over here. I think we could probably just put M390 right there and not put that on there. That's just a little weird. And again, I know Maxace loves to spell their whole name out, but maybe just the logo and maybe right up here. And I think that probably would have complemented the look a little bit better. But with the end result most likely being that this knife has an insanely fair price tag on it, I don't know how much I really want to complain. Let's go ahead and measure it. The overall length of this guy is coming in at, it's actually bigger than I thought. It's 8.5 inches. Blade length is coming in at 3.75, and your cutting edge is about 3.7. Let's weigh it. Probably going to be heavier than you might expect, given that the liners are steel. I would venture to guess 4.5 to 5 ounces. 5.5 ounces. 5.6 ounces is going to be a little heavy for some people. Not bad. And honestly, I'm impressed with their ability to do a good liner lock. A liner lock or frame lock, right? I mean, no knife needs to withstand multiple impacts during normal use. But any testing that is good testing is testing that goes far beyond the natural parameters of what you would use the knife for. Because otherwise, you don't really know, right? You're just like, yeah, well, probably it'll be fine. If you test it well into a territory that's largely considered abuse, then you're testing way beyond the natural parameters of what you expect your consumers to, how you expect your consumers to use the knives. So even though I jokingly like to refer to my little spine tap test as a spine tickle test, which in reality it is, I have the lowest requirement for, you know, what I consider quality, like a quality locking system, because I plan to use my knives like a careful, responsible, sane human being, right? I'm not gonna like use my knife as a grappling hook. I'm not going to stuff it into a harpoon gun and fire it at a whale, right? I'm not gonna do anything like that. I'm gonna use it like a pocket knife. So just tapping it a few times lightly on the spine will give me all I need to know. It'll say, this knife will absolutely 100% stand up to what I'm going to use it for, because what I'm going to use it for is pretty basic stuff. As is the case with the vast majority of people who watch my channel. At least 80% of you will use these knives exactly the same way I do. And so if you want to know if it meets your standard, right, based on whether or not it meets my standard, then we do these little taps. And some people like it and some people don't. And the people who don't like it will just have to deal with it, because this is how I'm going to do it. But this holds up just fine, even a liner lock. I think that's pretty good, proving that a liner lock, when done correctly, and a frame lock, when done correctly, can withstand at least a few taps, a few light taps on the spine. So that's good. Anyways, that's going to be it for me today, guys. This knife will get a full review, but that's going to be it for today's video. So if you want to check this knife out, I'll link it down in the description. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe, because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.